Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're going to go ahead and do a gameplay review on MoonFrost. This is a closed beta version game that we got a sneak peek at that we're going to go ahead and dive into. I'm going to give you some background information about the game itself, give you a little more information so you know what we're diving into. Then we'll jump into the actual closed beta itself so I can show you the gameplay and how it all works within the game itself. And then at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and give you my personal opinion on the game itself and whether I'm going to go ahead and follow it and continue to move forward. If you're looking for a casual style game, think pixels, think of Sunflower Land style of game, you may want to take a look at this one because it's got a lot of the same aspects. The art style is a lot different, so it's not the pixel based, but it's a very unique style to it, which we're going to dive into here. As always, before we actually dive into the game itself, we're going to go ahead and give you some background on the game. Again, this is MoonFrost. If you want to go ahead and take a look at their website, go to moonfrost.io. I'll also have a link in the description down below, and we'll cover it. We'll jump over the website here for like less than a minute here shortly, just to give you some more information around it. The blockchain that it's on is a little different than what I normally do. I normally don't go to the Solana blockchain, but I wanted to go ahead and cover this one because it's been getting a lot of hype. It is on the Solana blockchain. It is an MMORPG style game, more of a casual style with it. There's a lot of farming, a lot of crafting, a lot of things like that going on right now within the game itself, which we'll dive into you, and I'll show you all the details around that here shortly once we actually dive into the game. It is a downloadable client through Epic, which gives some legitimacy to it. I know everybody's a little hesitant to download clients, and it's through Epic, so it's been approved, it's been vetted, and it's got that seal of approval, if you want to say that. It is not mobile friendly. Again, it's a downloadable client, so which means it's not mobile friendly. And its launch date I have here is 2024, but technically it's closed beta, so you do need a special code or you do need special access to go ahead and get whitelisted for it. Thankfully, I was able to do that, so I can go ahead and give you a look at it. I'm not sure the actual launch date. I don't think that's been identified yet. Maybe the end of this year, maybe early next year. But at least we'll go ahead and get in there and dive and start playing through it. It is free to play. As far as the closed beta goes, I'm not sure down the road as far as the details, but as of right now, it's free to play, and there is no PvP because it's more of a casual. Like I said, it's more of a farming, crafting style game at this current point. So there is not any PvP within the game itself. Jumping over to the website quickly, you can go ahead and see that it is available for PC and Mac, again, through Epic Games. You can go ahead and actually go out there and download it. But as far as activating and getting whitelisted, you do need to go ahead through their Discord or get a special code in order to do that. Thankfully, I was able to go ahead and do that through Games GG, so I appreciate them being able to support me that way and allowing me to get the closed beta access for this one. Just kind of scrolling down, there is a little video that goes along with it. I'm not going to really dive into that because we're going to dive into the game. And as you can see, there's a lot of crafting, farming, and there's a lot of quests that go along within the game itself. Now that we're going to go ahead and dive into it, I want to go ahead and give the caveat before I do that, as I always do. With these gameplay reviews, I want to kind of give a fresh look at it, but also get it in there enough that I know enough about the game. So I have been playing it for a little while, maybe less than a week. We'll go ahead and say that. I have not progressed super far, but I've progressed far enough where I can have an opinion on the game. So let's go ahead and actually jump over to the game itself. All right, we are diving in here now. Go ahead and click on enter. You can kind of see the art style that goes along with it. It's very unique. I love the art style. It's very, I don't know, it's very fantasy related, fantasy style that's going on here. So I do appreciate the art style that I wanted to go ahead and mention as we're loading up the game itself. All right, now that we are in here, you can kind of go ahead and see, I'll go ahead and scroll out. When you first jump in here, the absolute first time, this place looks like an absolute jungle. It's an absolute mess that you have to go through and kind of clean up. There's bushes, there's trees, and I'm trying to find an area down here where I can kind of give you an idea of what it looked like. It all looked like down here. Like it was a mess where you couldn't really see much. You had to cut grass, you had to cut a whole bunch of stuff down just to be able to access the land. You kind of dive in there and you talk to Ash here. Which she starts giving you some quests. You can go over and start talking to Walter here, who also gives you quests that kind of leads you through the initial part of the game. But you can kind of see this is your land. This is your basically what you're going to go ahead and focus on for the first week or so. Once you start going through the quest and start earning and crafting and leveling up and getting higher tier tools, you can start going over to the city, which we're not going to touch about the city very much. But I wanted to mention it because that's where the MMO part of it comes into it. Every time I go to the city, there's a number of other players that you can go ahead and interact with. In this area here, it's you by yourself. You're alone, RPG style, no multiplayer. So when you're in here, you can go ahead and farm, and we'll touch on the mechanics for that. You can go ahead and craft with the workbench here or the decoration workbench here. There's quests that you can go through that we'll talk about, and just really you have also the opportunity to start going ahead and building your own house, which I haven't gotten too far with because I'm trying to get through the quest line to get a better idea of really get higher tier tools. Because when you start out the game itself, you can see down here, it's all stone tools, and the durability on these tools is very, very, very low. So you go through them pretty quickly. But when you first dive in here, let's just give you some of the mechanics as far as the lay of the land. You got the time within the game, and please understand that's in the game. So you'll see night, day, you'll see different weather patterns that go through here that actually help you. The rain I normally don't like in games. But it helps you out here because it waters your plants for you and saves you a lot of time. Up here, you have the different tools as far as building, your tab as far as your inventory goes, and settings that you can go ahead and see here. And then down here is your hotbar. Depending on what tool that you're going ahead and using, it'll kind of give you a little extra here. This is the watering pot or the watering, I forget what it's called, how you water the plants. But as far as the mechanics go, it's you have your normal mechanics. You chop your wood, you mine for different materials, you can go ahead and plant, farm, and harvest, and then you start earning and leveling up that way and working through the quest and being able to craft different things. As far as, we're going to zoom in here a little bit just so I can show you a little closer. As far as the different mechanics, when you have an axe, which I have the stone axe, you just go over to a tree and you go ahead and start chopping it down. When you first start the game, you don't have these tools, so you have to kind of go around looking for different materials that are just laying around, which I've picked up most of them. I'm trying to see if there's any more that are around here. Like the simple as this, as far as blueberries, you go ahead and you right click it and you can collect them. You can do that with stones and you can do that with logs, which gives you the initial materials that you need to go ahead and craft the initial tools, which allows you to go ahead and cut down trees, as you can see I'm doing here. And then you can go ahead and switch to a pickaxe, either by hitting the hotbar, and I'm going to zoom in, and then you can go over to different rocks and start getting the rocks that way. It's simple mechanics as far as getting the materials that you need. Here's a log, for an example, that you can go ahead and pick up that you don't need any tools for. And you go around, you collect all these different materials, anywhere from just regular rocks, soft wood. There is copper deposits. There is silver, gold, all things that you can go ahead and use. And then you go over to this area here. There's a workbench here. And you go ahead and you right click on that and you craft. And you can see just from the pickaxe here, I've actually went ahead and completed that one. There are different tiers of pickaxes, depending on how far along you are with the actual progression of the game itself. I'm still in the stone pickaxe, but the durability is, like I said before, is not very good. I'm looking forward to being able to go up to the silver and the gold, even though you think the gold pickaxe wouldn't be very good. You think you want an iron or steel pickaxe, but that's the way the game is run. And you can see the different items that you can go ahead and craft here. You just take the materials. You can see it's the in-game token, which is the sill, soft wood, and stone. You click craft, and 30 seconds later, it's going to be available for me to go ahead and grab it. Now that we have that available, you can actually go ahead and click on tab, and you can see your inventory. And you can see these are the in-game tokens. This is the one that you get from selling products, and this is the one that you get from quests that you can use down the road. And these are the different materials that I've been able to gather. The neat thing with this is, as you're going through with the harvesting, as you can see, I have a whole bunch of plants here, a whole bunch of peas here that are ready to be harvested. When you go ahead and click on those to harvest them, you get basically common ones all the way through higher tier ones, which we're just going to go through and see if I can get any gold ones here. Obviously, as you go up the higher tier, the higher stars, you're going to go ahead and have more value. And I'm actually getting all low tier ones here, as you can see. You're just going through and you're clicking right click, and you can see that's a little bit higher because it has a little light around it. There we go. We got that. I think that was a 3-star, I want to say. And then occasionally, you'll go ahead and get a gold one, which I'll show you here in a second. And the gold ones are actually the most valuable ones. There we go. Just got a gold one there. And you can go ahead and pick it up just by running over top of it. And then once you have those, you can see I have the gold P there. I can go ahead and click on tab again, and you can go ahead and see the gold P. That's the one I just picked up here. It's going to earn me 640 of the SIL tokens compared to the common one, which is 40. And all you have to do is to sell them is just go over and click here. And then you're going to use that token to go ahead and craft, to run quests. As far as the quests go, you can see this actually completed. So let's go ahead and pick that up. You can go over here. There's daily quests that you can go ahead and collect. They cost a different SIL token. All I have to do is go ahead and gather stone, and I'll get the crafting token that goes along with it. And then you can just go ahead through here, and the tasks update every 24 hours. Like I said, it's a lot of farming and crafting and running through the quests early. So if you like that kind of game, if you like the Sunflower Land, if you like the pixels, anything along those lines, you may really enjoy this game. And again, I'm still very early in the phase. The neat thing about this that you can't do in the other games is I can completely customize and build my own house any way that I want to do it, which is a fun aspect to it. I haven't really dove into it too far. Different floors, different woods, different things like that. And then there's a whole village that you can go through that gives a whole different aspect to it, that it kind of expands it. Again, this is an initial view of it. Let's go ahead and jump over here and give you my personal opinion about the game. If you like the pixels, if you like the Sunflower Lands, it's a good game to go ahead and test out, especially if you can get access to the closed beta. There's a number of avenues that you can go ahead to get you the access that you need, whether you go through the games.gg or you go through their Discord itself to get you whitelisted. It's definitely worth checking out if you enjoy those style of games. I do find it a little bit grindy. Just like any of the games that you go ahead and test out like this, it does get a little repetitive. It does get a little grindy, and the progression isn't the quickest. There's a bit of a hassle with the watering, but the nice thing that they do add is if it's raining, it saves you so much time and so much effort on the watering, because just like any of the other tools, these watering cans, durability is not very good, especially with the stone ones, the early ones. But if it's raining outside when you're planning, it saves you a whole bunch of hassle. So that's a quick tip that I would do. If you're planning anything, try and do it in the rain, even if it takes a little bit longer. Otherwise, you're going to be going and watering each of those individual plants, which is kind of a pain at times. As far as gathering the materials, I think it will get a whole lot better and less grindy once you get to the higher tool tiers, where they're not breaking as quickly. That's the challenge that I have. I feel like every time I cut down 3, maybe 4 trees or chop up a few rocks, I had to get a new tool, which was a pain. It really was a pain as far as the game goes. I'm sure they'll make some adjustments. This is a closed beta, so they're going to make some changes to it itself. So they may increase the durability. They make it easier to get to the next tier of the durability. A lot still to come with that. And the cool thing also is, as you go through, you can see the silver node here. As you go through, you unlock different things, different quests as you're going through. So there is some fun to it. If I had to pick right now, the current state of the game, I'd probably lean a little bit more towards pixels over this one, depending on what you're looking for. But again, this is closed beta. I'm assuming they're going to make a lot of improvements to it. If you don't like the pixel style, but you like this art style better, this may be better for you. But go ahead in the comments down below. Have you had a chance to go ahead and check out MoonFrost? If you have, what are your thoughts on it? Just based on what you saw here as far as the game goes, is it something that you're interested in, or you want to go ahead and check out? Highly encourage you to go ahead and check out Games.gg. They do have a quest that's going on as of the time of this recording that gives you a chance to go ahead and get whitelisted for the game if you want to go ahead and play it itself. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.